and it's her just being on her own, and you feel more alone when you don't know anybody at a big event like that.
Right.
And that was ultimately, you know, the purpose, is that she's, you know, more lonely than ever. And so then when she eventually does meet this person by chance, regardless of who he is, what he is, it's someone that will, you know, talk to her, that will.
Somebody that she really needs.
Yeah.
At this point,
They
right?
both needed, in a sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you three all worked together on this project?
Well, Armando and I had worked on it. He was the cinematographer on it, and it was very last minute. I think the whole approach was somewhat Dogma 95 inspired, which is it's like a set of rules that you have to follow to keep film in a very
Very minimalistic,
basic,
yeah.
style.
To get it done quickly?
Yeah.
It's
like to get to the roots, like something
Yeah.
very simple, where it's just a camera setup and the actors, and you don't really set up much. It's just camera has to follow actors. You have no lighting other than natural lighting, and
I can't bring anything extra in. No lights. One of the rules is even to you can't use a tripod.
Oh, really?
So it's really organic.
Everything's handheld?
Everything's handheld, and which doesn't necessarily mean like it'll look like cops when they're chasing, but it's just the cameras
Give you a
are
headache.
right, exactly.
Just to focus on story.
Just
and
to focus on
characters
story and
more than
characters.
anything.
Well,
A lot of films are now mostly steady cams and handheld shots.
Was this shot on film?
No, it's a video. It has to be video. Originally, I think it was 35, but they realized that nobody can really afford 35 millimeters. So that's the exception to the rule, is you can use video. And I think ultimately the first one was on video.
Yes, it was.
So it's, you know, it was just an idea that Split Pillow came up with, and they knew that other people that worked on this project, that were going to work on this project, all the other directors, had a style similar to this. And you know, and I really want to give credit to Split Pillow, because their focus was on Chicago filmmakers. And so when I was thinking about doing this project, I realized, well, we have to show the biggest character in all of this, and that's Chicago, you know? And so that's what I focused on, and ultimately that's, I think, why I love the film, and that's why I feel that it's such a good film, because everybody else with their own chapters did the same thing, you know? Chicago is a supporting character throughout each one, you know, and you see different neighborhoods, different events that go on, you know. You get like north side perspective, south side, you know, downtown, east side.
And who is Split Pillow?
So, they're this organization, not for profit, that I think they started, I don't know, maybe like 5-6 years ago, and they've done a few of these type of exquisite corpse films.
What was that term?
Exquisite corpse.
Exquisite corpse?
Yeah, it's where you take the end of something and then create something new from it. I think the surrealists back in the 1920s are the ones who came up with the idea, where they would paint something or draw something on a piece of paper, fold it up, or you only saw a piece of it, pass it to someone else, and then they would continue that and fold it up. And I know they used to do that too with like poems and stuff, where you get a group of writers, and then you would write 2 lines, and then they would only see the last line, and then write 2 lines, and then fold the paper, you see, and
interesting.
So it's kind of like that, but with filmmaking.
But they wanted, in a sense, to now bring it into Chicago and have Chicago filmmakers to have their own style, because that, in a sense, is what we're all actually looking for, to have some sense to represent Chicago. You have a lot of other people from New York having their style already, even Los Angeles. So Chicago in itself is not totally represented in films as much.
It's a great thing for Chicago filmmakers.
Yeah, a little about civic pride.
Right,
So.
Well, let's take another look. And there's a second clip where...
This is the clip where they, Erin and Louis, the hustler she just met, are spending this moment together at her brother's place, and this is the first moment where they both let their guards down, and they're just talking, and this scene was improvised.
Right. Okay.
I had asked Louis to do it, and he's just he's reciting this like old Spanish song, and
Terrific.
he's translating to her in English.
Okay, great. Well, let's take a look.
Okay.
Aunque me cueste la vida, even if it costs me my life, sigo buscando tu amor. I will always, search for your love. Te sigo amando, I will keep loving you. Voy preguntando, I will always ask, ¿dónde poderte encontrar? Where to find you. Aunque vayas donde vayas, no matter where you go. Al fin del mundo me iré, he goes to the end of the world I will go. Para entregarte, to give you, mi cariñito, my affection. Porque nací para ti, because I was born for you. Things like that, it reminds me of it's like a slippery thing, love, That's why I think people talk about it and write about it all the time, because it's like, do you know what a canepa is?
No.
Canepa is like this little fruit. It's like this big, like a large marble, and it's like it's green, and the inside it's like kind of orange, like peach kind of, and you gotta kind of crack it kind of, and spit out the half, and you gotta keep the other half because like it's really slippery.
Yeah.
So you gotta use the other half to hold it, because it's you gotta suck the juice out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you suck the juice out and you flip it over, and you suck it. It's really delicious, but it's really slippery. I've had it slip down my throat before because it's so slippery, and that's kind of like how love is.
Do you choke on it or you just
And
swallow it?
it's so slippery, it slips all the way down.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy, yeah, and that's kind of like how love is. You can't really hold on to it.
Wow, that's great. And were you happy with the final product?
Yeah. I
After
think
everybody got through with
overall-
their parts after yours?
Overall, I think everybody kept in the same spirit of the film and kept the same themes throughout, and ultimately it's a good film, and it really represents Chicago.
Where would they be able to find it then?
I'm sure you'd be able to find it like Netflix or
Okay. Wow,
or
great.
other places, that distribute Amazon, distribute DVDs.
And you'll get a big cut of the proceeds then?
No.
We need
That's
money
not gonna happen.
We need
Yeah.
money to pay off our tuition and credit card
we
bills. and-
waive that right. We sign
Yeah.
the paper.
Sign your life away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean,
One day. So what do you have upcoming?
Well, I had just finished writing a feature, and I realized funding would be really tough to get for it. So I decided to do a short, somewhat based off the feature, and I'm planning to shoot it by the end of spring, and it's the story is basically of a young man who's like a 17, 18-year-old boy who's like a graffiti writer and skateboarder, and he's been away from home for over a month or so, and he's having a hard time confronting seeing his brother, who just had recently become disabled, and so he forces himself out of the fear of confronting that and the responsibility that comes with that, and so he's with his girlfriend this one day, and she's just telling him that to leave with her, to just go to California or something and just forget everything and just go. And he's really seriously considering it, but so he spends this one day. She gives him the ultimatum, either you do this or you don't. And so he has this one day to figure it out whether he's going to do this. And as much as he tries to go home, he can't bring himself to do it. So he spends this day just going to daytime parties, which are parties during the daytime where a lot of teenagers skip school and get into all kinds of trouble during this. And it's at that party that he befriends a young kid who is very much like his own brother, and that's what triggers whether he's going to go back home or not. So this is the short, and obviously the feature's much more broader, and it's got more to it. But it's we just finished the script. Armando's going to shoot it.
Oh, good.
And
When are you going to shoot it?
well, we're looking to do it by the end of spring, hopefully.
hopefully. I
And
mean, if all goes well with getting the amount of money that we need, and it looks like it's going to come through.
Yeah.
Getting that, and then really it's just more the technical stuff and casting.
Casting's going to
Just
be a big
finding,
thing.
yeah, finding the right guy, the right character
Right.
for this piece. Because it can't just be, you know, it can't just be an actor. It's got to be someone that lives this, because it can easily come off as cheesy and just unprofessional.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's not what we want.
Another very serious topic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very serious, but it's you know, it's got a, you know, the tone's going to be somewhat, you know, comedic in some ways, where it's, you know, they're partying as well, and you know, these are young kids, so they're gonna just do what kids do, you know,
Right,
and
yeah.
he's a skateboarder, and he's, you know, so.
Another great film, I mean, but pretty much captures Chicago, particularly
Yeah.
the South Side.
Yeah, I mean,